Oh, wow.
That's what I've been working on like crazy for the last week.
Oh, you mean to purchase one
No, to rent.
to rent?
It's
Ah,
5th of June, Rabbi Levitt, Horeb.
Good morning.
good morning, Alan.
Done.
Okay, very good. We have mayors should be coming in here too, I see. And we are ready to go with Horeb. Okay, so it should be with bracha and hatzlacha in your son's new apartment.
Amen. Thank you.
Hope the plumbing and the electrical and everything else works. Bezrat
Amen.
Hashem. You don't have any trouble with it. Okay. So we are in the middle of this Rav Hirsch is launched into a comprehensive uh, discussion of all of the Lamites Malachas over here. Oh, actually, I'm not sure who is the one that is this. This is writing from Rav Hirsch. I don't know what it means, additional notes. I think it's Rav Hirsch. Yes, I'm assuming that it is. Yeah, the fact that it's additional notes doesn't mean it's not Rav Hirsch. Okay. So it's very interesting. He felt it necessary over here to give us a very comprehensive and brief rundown of all of the relevant halachas for Shabbos, according to the Seder of the Lamites Malachas. And yesterday we got up to page 71. And we're on the bottom of page 71, where it says regarding tying and untying a knot. Kosher umatir.
Bottom page.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let's see who's going to start off the reading. Tying and untying a knot. Malachot. We go to Lou to start the reading. Please.
All right. Tying up or loosening an expertly made knot intended to last. Twisting the loosening ropes. I'm sorry, twisting and loosening ropes. Savus. Tying up
Oh, I see.
expertly made knots which were not intended to last, or non-expertly made knots which were intended to last, even if only for one day. Tying or loosening a double knot or a simple end knot, but this is permitted to remove pain. To loosen a knot which is only sometimes made to last. Permitted loosening a non-skillfully made knot which is intended to untie on the same day. Loops and double loops. With a double knot, only if it is intended to untie it again on the same day.
Oh. So You know what? I have a confession to make over here. I was wondering. Now I see that Rav Hirsch has set up each of these subjects in a seder of three. There's three different halachas that he's saying over here. When he first starts, there in the words in italics, when he says malachos, he means to say that what he's now going to list is a malacha, meaning it's a malacha deraisa of tying or untying a knot. Everything that he said over here, he listed two different things, and then when he says shavus, shavus is a word that the Gemora uses to describe a rabbinic prohibition on Shabbos. It's specifically used to describe a rabbinical prohibition for Shabbos, but not for any other rabbinic prohibition which doesn't concern Shabbos. So that's the shvus. So then that's the second category, things that are aser midrabanan. It's not a malacha deraisa, but it's aser midrabanan. And then he says the last word in italics is permitted. He says these things are permitted both from the Torah and from the Rabbanan, totally lechatchila to do. Okay, so that's something to look out for. And this is interesting. He says, even with a double knot, which is generally regarded as a knot that is forbidden, perhaps even a Torah. But he says if that double knot was only done to be untied on the same day, and the same day would be a 24-hour period from the time that it was tied, I believe. So then it would be permissible.
So the example I could think of would be a grocery bag, a plastic grocery bag. You put some food in there and you tie it because you want it to stay fresh. But you definitely intend to untie that knot because you want to use the food.
Yeah. I tell you the truth. I don't know. I'm not familiar that this is the accepted practice, that this is permissible to do, to tie a double knot, even for less than 24 hours. But so everybody should ask their own question about that one. But that's what Rav Hirsch says right over here. Okay. Okay, now we move to sewing. We go to Alan, please.
Next page. Koth. Drawing the thread, permitted to straighten out lightly, permitted to straighten laces of garments, but only if the lace holes are spacious and have been sewn all around. Next one is action game. To seize even tame animals. Next is tanning, shruth, to prepare larger quantities of salt water or other sharp substances that will be needed to put into food, to produce a solution holding 2/3 of salt, even the smallest quantity, to place for some time into salt that which requires salting, or to salt much at once. Permitted to dip one part of food after the other into salt before consumption, and to let it lie therein for a short period only. To salt several things if other liquids such as oil, vinegar, and the like are being added at the same time. Next one is
Okay. Okay, good. Fine. Cutting. Mayor, would you like to continue?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. This thing about
Yeah?
catching game, I mean, it says to seize even tame animals. So that means you really can't touch animals on Shabbos then? I mean,
Can
let's
you
say
touch an animal on Shabbos? You want to know? Your
yeah.
animal or a
Well,
wild animal?
it could be. Let's say you have in the house a dog or you have hamsters or whatever. You should probably not try to grab them, I guess, or seize them.
Well, I mean, if they're in your house, they're on your property, right? They're basically already trapped
Right.
or caught.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good point. Yeah.
right.
Morning.
Good morning, Roy.
What page? What paragraph?
Top of page 72, we're discussing the matter of seizing a tame animal. So just 5 lines from the top.
I see. Thank you.
So he refers us to the Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim 316. We could look up what it says over there with the Mishnah Berurah. Yeah, because we do see we see people we see various people with pets on a leash, and they're walking the animal.
Mhm.
I mean, there's he's talking simply about seizing the animal. I think what he means over here, he doesn't mean simply to touch the animal, but he means uh, to trap it, trap it in a place.
Oh,
But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Shulchan Aruch and see what we have to say over here. I don't have any animals currently to have to worry about, but it's important to know.
I hear. Yes. Hmm.
Okay, let's see. He's referring us to Orach Chaim 316.
Okay.
That'll be Shin Tes Zion. Shin Tes Zion. Okay. Shin Tez Zayin. Seda. Hu Asura Vahamuteris B'Shabbos. So this is the heading of this siman. It's a siman in Shulchan Aruch, which is devoted to Seder, which is one of the Lamites Malachas of trapping a wild animal. And he says that there's a type of Seder which is Asr, and there's a type of Seder which is Mutter. We already find that out from the first 4 words of the heading in the siman in Shulchan Aruch. So let's see how maybe we should just he's talking. It's first of all talking about a tzvi, a deer. Most people don't have deers in their house. We're talking about a wild animal from the outside.
Right.
Then he talks about the Hatzad Nachashim, the Akravim, the Shabbos. That's a famous subject in the Gemora. Shmona Shrotzim, Murim, Batorah, Hatzad Chayav. Okay, so far I'm not finding anything about the domesticated animals.
Right.
Chayav Of Shibrishuso. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, so a bird that's in your house. I
A
guess.
chaya or an oaf. Right. Some type of a an animal or a bird which is under your dominion, in your property, I guess. Mutter litzudan. It's permissible to trap it. V'hu shelo yimrodu, as long as it doesn't rebel. Well, imehei mordim, if they rebel, we'll have to see what that refers to. I mean, what does he do? He has he holds up a placard and says, I don't know what does it mean to rebel? But okay, aser latofsum. In that case, it would be forbidden to seize them. Afilu b'chatzer, even in the backyard of one's property. Ima chatzer gadol, if it's a large, spacious outdoor area, she'im lo gadlu bein bnei adam hayu tzrichim mitzodo. Oh. Oh, but that's what the Shulchan Aruch says. But the Ramah says, "Asel etzod chayav va'of shebrishuso." Even if it's in his rishus, he's not allowed to trap it, not allowed to seize it. Bimsodon potter. If he does so, he's potter. He's potter.
Wow.
Avapara vasus, a cow or a horse, v'kol shekain shar chayav va'of, all the more so other types of animals, shemardu. You have to figure out, what does this mardu mean? It's not, in other words, I think it means it's not a totally tame and domesticated animal.
Okay.
Even though it's in your reshus, even though it's under your dominion and on your property, perhaps. Im sadon chayav chatas. So those are the kain ikar. Then it talks about a chatul. Chatul dina kashar chaya v'asa l'tofsam b'Shabbos. Chatul is a cat. I'm not sure what type of cat he's talking about. A big cat, wild cat. Okay, so I see this is a whole subject over here. You can't just pull out the relevant halacha and on standing on foot.
Uh-huh.
But so what was our question originally? What did we want to know?
Oh, yeah. So it says to seize even a tame animal. And I was wondering, like, if kids have hamsters, can they put their hand in the cage and take it out? I mean, is that considered seizing?
Right, right. Okay, so that's
Maybe they should stay away from them on Shabbos. That's
How do you feed your pets? You're responsible for them on Shabbos as well as during the day, during the call.
yeah. So if you have to leash them to take them on a walk, is that considered seizing an animal, a tame animal?
I suppose not taking them a walk for one day, what out of 7 won't matter, but not feeding them. And if you leave out the food for them, who knows what else?
No.
Who else cats will come.
this is an important halacha for Shabbos Shira of Parshas B'Shalach.
Uh-huh.
People don't realize this, right? There's a minig that people put out breadcrumbs for the birds on Parshas B'Shalach.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
but there's an important halacha here to know. Even though you're right that you're allowed to feed your own animals on Shabbos,
Oh,
right? We're not talking about feeding an animal here. We're talking about there's an issue of a malacha of tzeda, of trapping or seizing an animal. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about feeding the animal, but even feeding an animal which is not yours on Shabbos is forbidden.
Mm. Yeah.
So anybody that wants to follow that minig, what they have to do is they have to put out the breadcrumbs before Shabbos comes in.
Well, that's what we do. When it's on Shabbos, we put it out Erev Shabbos.
Yeah.
As close to Shabbos as possible. And say, here birdies, and they don't come. But that's what we do.
Oh, they don't come. Okay. I guess they got better
Yes,
things to get.
They don't trust you.
In our neighborhood, the cats eat the best food from the best restaurants in town. You put out for them some old stuff, moldy stuff, they won't touch it.
right. Wow. Highly select.
And cat food, forget it. Okay. So
Okay. Very good. I guess we should.
Yeah. I mean, I could just take a look very quickly in Shmir Shabbos Kehilchasa, a one-line thing about where he talks about Seder. I'm sure he's going to address that question right away. Seder's Baal Chaim Beisi. That sounds like what we're talking about. Regarding the trapping of a of an animal which is a basi, a house animal. Chaf Zayin Lamed Daled. Okay. Baal Chaim Basi, she'ein darko lihishamet mitachas yad ha'adam, habo litfos oto, kagon hapara, v'hatzon, ein bo mishum iser tzeda, umuter legarsho, lekluv shalo, olamod befonov, amanas shikanis lekluv. Okay, so he's talking about a cow or a sheep. That's really not relevant to us either. It's somebody lives on a farm. Let's see if I can get something even here. Baal Chaim Basi, shedarko lihishamet mitachas yad hadam. That's what it means. I think that's what the Shulchan Aruch was talking about. If you have a house animal, Baal Chaim Basi, shedarko lishamet mitachas yad hadam. The animal will usually try to evade or avoid a person who tries to seize it, to grab hold of it. He won't allow you to hold him. Aval im hu yotze mikluvoi. Aval, but he didn't say what was mutter usher at that point. Why is he saying aval now?
Oh.
1 second. It's aval im hu yotze mikluvo. But nevertheless, if he escapes his klub, a klub is a cage. If he gets out of his cage, b'meshach hayom, during the course of the day of Shabbos, of course, who chozer elav be'erev, he'll come back in the evening. Kagon kol shar chayav of, for just all other types of animals and birds. Yesh b'tzidasoy bishum isur drabanan. There would be an isur drabanan to trap it. But if there's a concern that the animal would be have sustained some fallout or some pain as a result of escaping his cage, and you're concerned, you're not able to wait until Motzi Shabbos, muter litzodo. Then you would be able to seize him and get him back in the cage. Vim efshar, if it's possible though, lo yikach oso biyad lahachniso leklub shelo. If possible, you should not take the animal in hand and return it back to the klub. Shekain balei chayim muksahem v'asurim betilto. Balei chayim, animals which even if they're house animals, they are muksa on Shabbos, and therefore it's not permissible to just touch them for no reason. Here he's talking about there's a concern that the animal could get injured or something to that sort. So then he's saying, if you have to, you could take hold of it and return it back to the cage so that it will avoid suffering because of the prohibition of sar bali chayim, I'm assuming, he said, or some other hefsid. But otherwise, even such animals are are not allowed to be touched on Shabbos. So I don't know what the difference between that and a hamster would be. I think a hamster would be the same thing. So to just take it out of the cage on Shabbos in order to play with it or something like that, I don't know if that's permissible. You have to ask a question about that. Okay. That's from the Shmir Shabbos Gehilchasa.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're up to cutting now. It says
Cutting.
cutting permitted to cut through threads used in the preparation of food. Oh, okay. So like if you make a whole chicken with stuffing and you thread it closed so the stuffing cooks in it, I guess you're permitted to cut the threads when you serve the food.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Sounds right.
it's the only thing I can think of.
Cut through threads used in the preparation of food. Okay.
Can you sew up the chook? You can't, can you? You have to do that before Shabbos.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't make stitches on Shabbos. Okay. Writing. Roy, would you like to continue?
Okay, so this is writing. Melachot, okay. All recording of things or retaining of thoughts by means of painting, writing, or drawing of any sort, if the sign produced is durable. Okay, so basically you can't do any of that on Shabbos. Then Shavut.
Painting, writing, or drawing. Any painting, writing, or drawing. If the sign is that is produced is durable.
Right.
So that would be a full-blown malacha of kosev. Now he talks about shvus, isurei derabanan of Shabbos.
Okay, so we'll do that. So Shavut. Okay, it says any such recording or retaining, if the sign is visible, even if it is not durable, e.g., if made by a wet finger on a board. Okay. And let's see, number 2 says all transactions which may easily lead to writing. Therefore, it is also forbidden, to celebrate marriages on Shabbat. Okay. And then it has permitted signs which are not visible upon the material written upon. Example is to write in the air.
Oh, wow.
That I've never seen
Interesting.
done. I mean, I see people in shul when they want to say something to their neighbor, they move their lips, but they don't say it. They don't enunciate in shul. You can't hear it. But to write in the air, I guess if one can understand what that is.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to invert the letters because he's writing one way, and it's the person that's watching him is going to it's going to see an inverted letter.
That's true too.
Unless they're both standing on the same side.
Ah,
Okay,
so writing in the
right
air.
in the air. What about writing on a window pane, which is writing on a window pane which has after the rain, and it's got some moisture over there. So
We-
you
Yeah, we once asked about that back home.
Mhm.
When it snowed a lot, people might think of writing something or making an image in the snow on I don't know, even on a car or something. And we were told if it's not permanent, it's permitted, actually.
It's
So I
still,
don't
Yeah,
know.
so
that's the writing is visible on the material it's written on. It's not, so the matter is what Maya said of permanence. It's not a matter of visibility. It doesn't enter into it.
yeah, here he says if the sign is visible, even if it's not durable, like a wet finger on a board, that would be a shvus, which would be forbidden rabbinically. Okay. So, okay, building and demolishing. We have time for a little bit of building and demolishing.
Hmm.
So we go to Roy.
With regards to building and demolishing, the malacha, 1, to fit pieces of wood into one another and the like. So it's Orach Chaim, 3:13. To glue together, to paste together and the like. 3:14 Orach Chaim. Cheese making, reinserting a broken chair leg. All right. So that's one set. Another set, to smooth unevenness of the ground, to raise broken beams with a support, to make a durable roof of one hand breadth's width, or such at least that it gains the width of one hand breadth within 3. To divide a room for differing purposes by means of a partition, lifting out a window. Shvus, 1, refitting vessels composed of various parts of the use of which does not require them to be taken to pieces, but it is allowed to connect those which are only fitted together loosely. Plaiting and loosening hair, plaiting and loosening hair, plaiting. It is permitted to part the hair with a hand. Also Orach Chaim 3:03. To erect a roof for the purpose of providing covered space, or if the roof is put on walls, even if not durable. Sweeping or washing even of wooden flooring. To support broken beams permanently, either firmly with instruments or loosely with pieces of wood, so that they do not sink any further. Hanging and removing a door with hinges if it is made of one plank or without a sill. To reset doors of cupboards, etc., which have been lifted out of their hinges. To play on the ground with nuts and the like. Permitted, a whole lot of things here. Taking apart and putting together, even screwing and unscrewing articles made of different sections if their use depends on this. To close up windows with cushions, etc., if they were designated for this before Sabbath, permitted. Wood to block an entrance, must have been made for this purpose. A bolt which goes into the ground must be fixed onto the door, and if it goes directly into the ground, then the hole for it must be suitably prepared. Doors which are rarely used must be recognizable by hinges and fixed on one side. To support broken beams temporarily with objects in order that they should not sink further is permitted. To cast sand and the like upon dirt on the floor, but if it is done to improve the floor, etc., if it has become impassable through wetness, then it may only be covered in an improvised manner with something which will not stay there. For example, with straw. It's permitted. Is it to make a partition required for protection or cover, but not to form separate spaces? Continuation of non-durable roofing, which had been begun on Friday, if there already exists 1 handbreadth continuously, or strips less than 3 handbreadths distant from one another. Roofing upon supports without actual walls, the purpose of which is not the covering of space. Temporarily taking apart roofing which has already been fixed upon its supports, causing dust to rest by means of sprinkling, sweeping out plastered or wooden floors by a non-tube or with a soft sweeping tool, which will only remove dust, but which cannot be used for the filling up of holes and the like, but only in such a way that there is no fear of natural breaking off or cracking. And most of these are
Okay.
KM 313 or 337 or whatever. 303. All right. So,
Okay, very good. Yashikoyak, everybody. And a great
Yeah.
day to Mayor.
Everyone should have a good day.
Yes, amen.
okay,
We'll be
see
back
you. Yeah.
shortly.
Okay.
See you, man.
Okay, bye now, Roy.